Welcome to the Maumee City Council meeting. It's September 3rd, 6:15. We'll call the roll, please.
Puffenberger.
Yes.
Barrow.
Yes.
Viscus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kurt.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is Committee of the Whole, and we'll refer to President Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. Council have looked over the agenda. Any questions or concerns?
Mr. President, if you would, could I do the proclamation up front, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have with us Cindy Kerr, the Vice President of Community Relations with Sunshine Communities. If you would come to the microphone, and if you want to introduce your guests as well.
Sure. Good evening, Council and Mayor. Thank you for having us tonight. With me tonight is also Shannon Bova, who is our Chief Philanthropy Officer, and Mallory Crooks, who's our Director of Marketing and Communications.
Thank you. I would like to read a proclamation. It's a special year for you, I know, and it's been kind of a celebration all year. And maybe you can comment about some more activities that are going to happen this weekend. Whereas Sunshine Communities, an organization serving individuals with disabilities, was founded in 1950 by Roy and Georgette Engler, who wanted their 5 children, each with disabilities, to be treated with love and respect. And whereas the couple then extended that commitment to other children with disabilities, even those who were not their own, by offering care and love and support that was uncommon and groundbreaking for that time. From humble beginnings, this incredible couple created an organization that now serves the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of more than 250 individuals with disabilities each day. And whereas Sunshine branched out in 2005 to also employ individuals with developmental disabilities in Uptown Maumee, first in 2005 by opening Georgette's Grounds and Gifts, and then in 2014 by opening Sunshine Studios to support artists of all ages, experiences, and abilities. 2 blocks away from Conant Street, but still in the Uptown District, Sunshine also opened a coffee packaging site in 2021. Whereas the City of Maumee, Ohio is honored to recognize Sunshine Communities, an outstanding organization and important partner of the Maumee community, for making a 75th anniversary. And now therefore be it resolved that I, James McDonald, Mayor, do hereby proclaim September 3rd, 2024 as Sunshine Communities Day in the City of Maumee, Lucas County, affixed hereto this 3rd day of September 2024. Thank you very much for your service. Let me present this to you.
Thank you. It is. It's a year for celebration. 75 years ago, Roy and Georgette Engler had a vision that very few across the country shared, that their children deserve better and that all deserve to thrive. And today we serve ages from just 16 months up to age 80. We have a significant number of people with severe medical complexities. In fact, we serve a large ventilator population also. Fun fact that I'll leave you with tonight, that we are Lucas County's oldest continuously operating coffee shop over at Georgette's. So I bet most of you didn't know that. If you haven't taken a class at the studios, be sure to do so. And this coming Saturday, as I'm sure all of you on council know, but for your benefit, we'll be working with the city on closing down the streets in Maumee here. We're bringing in Girl Named Tom, which was the 2021 winner of The Voice. And they're going to be our lead act for that night. Why them? Is because they're actually of Mennonite heritage. And so the Mennonites have stood behind us for many of those 75 years. In fact, for 65 of those years formally. A large donor base comes from Fulton County, and they were our first donor group that we had at Sunshine, and they also formed our first board, and so we've been very thankful for that community. And looking forward to growing in town, we're gonna pack out downtown, down here, we're working with the mayor's staff. Chief here has been very helpful, making sure that everyone's gonna be, safe and secure, along with the rest of the city employees. It's been a great experience so far. Weather forecast looks really good, so we're gonna see how many bodies we can put in that area out there as we celebrate with all of you. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to add something. We went to the event you had downtown a couple of months back, and well, that was really wonderful. And to see the beginnings, the humble beginnings of that couple and where it's gone today, it's just astounding. Congratulations. Very, very nice thing to do for our greater community. Thank you. Continuing with Committee of the Whole, are there any questions or comments on anything on the agenda item? Council Lampard?
Couple. On the consent calendar, items 9C and D, just to confirm my understanding, those are really just accounting adjustments that are being made, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And on 9B, the paving, originally I thought that this was just something that was being done to kind of beautify the parking lot. My church, parking lot's terrible. And the one at Rolfe Park looked a little better. So at first I thought that this was perhaps a discretionary item, but I contacted our president of council, and he spoke with someone in the industry who assured us that this is actually an expense that we need to incur now to avoid much larger expenses in the future. If the improvements aren't made now, we run the risk of eroding the foundation and resulting in bigger costs. So is that the correct understanding
Yes.
of that expense?
Correct.
And one other item, if I may, President Bell?
Sure. Absolutely.
Under the new business, the couple items there that are being recommended by the finance director, I thought it would be appropriate for our finance director to provide some background for the people who are here listening tonight.
Sure, so ordinance 32 regarding the streetlight assessment, that has been in place since 1985. And we went for a long stretch of time from 1985 to 2021 without any increase in the rates at all. In 22, the rates were doubled, but I say that with an asterisk. So some folks went from paying $20 to $40 a year for their street lighting, and that covers not only the operating costs, the electricity, but also the capital cost too for painting the poles or new street lights placed around town. So at that point they were doubled, and then they went up again 5% into 23, 20% into 24, and then here before you tonight is a 10% increase. So if you look at that over a number of years, that's about 2% a year since it was implemented. And it was never increased for a long stretch of times where we did not keep up with our current cost. So that's why the increase over the last couple of years.
And the timing for this is considered critical to pass it now?
Yes, like I said, it does pay for capital infrastructure. So this year alone, it covers, we did have scheduled the White Street parking lot lighting. I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year, just due to timing constraints with our capital projects department. There are some uptown, the light poles that you saw painted uptown is also covered under this, as well as some miscellaneous additional lighting and repairs around town. Same thing with next year, we always have a caveat in there for miscellaneous lighting repairs or additions. Couple projects that are on the radar, Wayne Street, Illinois Avenue, by the new Redwood over by the Turnpike is also scheduled in the next couple of years.
So there was a 36-year period where our rates did not change.
Right.
So it's not unreasonable to expect that in recent years we've had to move those up. So for people who've been concerned about that, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. So like I said, the average annual cost in 22 is $87 a year for the streetlights, and then proposed for 2025 is $121 a year for streetlights.
Thank you, Finance Director.
Thank you, and I had one question, so the public knows, this is done yearly, is that correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, because every year we renew it, and if there have adjustments, this is the time that they're made, thank you.
Well, regardless if there's a change in the fee, it still has to be done annually.
Right, thank you.
President Barrow, can I ask a
Sure, Mayor.
question, please? So, also out of that fee is the payment to Edison to burn the lights?
Correct, yeah, the operating cost for the streetlights, yeah, which is.
And was it not, when were all the lights changed out, maybe 5, 6 years ago to LED?
That's before my time.
Yeah,
I'm not
before
sure.
you came, I believe they were, I can't remember the date, but I do believe we went to a higher efficient LED light,
Mhm.
maybe it might have been 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, the kilowatt hour per, rate per hour has increased over the last several years, as we have all experienced too.
Excuse me, Patrick, could you shed some light on that, about when that was?
I think it was about 8 years ago, but time flies, right? About 8 years ago, and they didn't get all of them because some of the poles they didn't do, the whole pole had to be replaced, and if you remember on Ford Street, only some of them were changed, because you remember just in the last 3 years, 3 of those poles actually fell into the street because they rusted.
Right.
In a not snowstorm, but a windstorm.
Thank you. Are there any more questions or concerns on the agenda? Having seen none, that concludes committee of the whole. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to citizens' comments. This period is a 3-minute limit per person, a 2-minute limit if more than 2 people have addressed the same subject. And we have 3 individuals that have requested to speak. Mr. Cox from Maumee.
Bill Cox, 937 Gibb Street. My referencer is gonna be on Conant Street where the railroad tracks are. The weeds over there have gotten over 5.5 foot tall. I was over there today doing some work around that area, right by the track, so the sidewalk is unpassable. Unless the chief is willing to provide security for people that are over that way, so whatever's living in the weeds don't attack people walking through there. I'm sure that could be a problem. But I've noticed that we farmed out a lot of our grass cutting around town to different people, and I don't think they're fulfilling their contracts very well, as I see a lot of places around town that are not being well kept and being cut, so I think we need to look into that. But the weeds over there are terrible, and it's right on the crosswalk, because there is no sidewalk that has been put in there since we've installed railroad tracks, and nobody seems to be able to leverage the railroad into doing that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sherry Shunk, welcome from Maumee.
Okay, Sherry Shunk, I'm in the red area, 1238 Key Street. Okay, this is in regards to, the round table that was held on August 27th that I attended. The woman that sat next to me, her name was Lee. Lee explained her situation, to those that were there, and went on about moving back to Maumee, that she collects Social Security, and with the rising cost of water and the sewer bill, which she pulled out a copy of her water and sewer bill, she said soon she won't be able to live here, to afford it. She asked about the cost to fix or repair the lines, and the answer was given, won't know until you have an inspection done. I could tell Lee was upset. I went ahead and asked to elaborate on that. Well, if it is found that there's something wrong, how long do we have from that point? And it was told to me that if it's illegal, it needs to be fixed. So I couldn't help but notice that Lee was quite upset. Her voice was shaking, and she was making like odd movements with her left hand. She kept grasping her notebook and rubbing her hands on that notebook. I'm not a doctor. I was figuring it was something like Parkinson's or possibly being nervous talking at the round table. I told her that I have some numbers, contacts that could help assist because we are seniors. And I told her, give me your number, I'll give you mine. I will contact you, not tonight, because after these kind of meetings, I have to decompress. I'll call you on Wednesday. Called her Wednesday, left a message on her voicemail. Sunday, Lee called me apologized for not getting back with me right away, but she suffered a stroke. And it was caused by the stress and everything, and the not acknowledging seniors. She brought that up to her doctor, and also about the tingling in her hands. Her son, listening to it all, told his mother, no more sewer meetings, no more Facebook, your health comes first. Because I suffered a stroke in 2003, and the next 30 days is very crucial for her. You can suffer many after that. But anyhow, to elaborate on, I am so tired of hearing the ill comparisons. Margot went on about being down on the farm. Not only did she bring it up at that round table, but at the council meeting that I could not attend. I threw my back out. I watched it online. Here is, she went on about that her parents had to pay to hook up to the sewer line. So again, I'm going to correct this and state that with any new hookup that's never been there before, well, you have to hook up.
Go ahead and finish your thought, ma'am.
So anyhow, with any utility out there, the utility companies, they take care of their property, their lines right up to the house. And I get that that pipe in my yard is mine, but the row is not. It's municipalities. And the last thing that I want to end with was, because I couldn't attend that council meeting, I was very discouraged about the way that everyone here handled themselves in a very unprofessional manner. When a citizen came up to voice his opinion on what he perceived as an injustice, he was shut down and not allowed to talk. But someone from on this side went on, because I couldn't see, it wasn't zoomed in, went on to discuss him after that person left the meeting. If you're gonna call decorum on one individual, you gotta call it on everyone. That was inappropriate, it was unprofessional.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I'm glad you do it, and I'm glad I'm not being escorted out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Delaney from Maumee.
Yes, I'm Mike Delaney. I live in 1955 Glenview, and here to talk about the ordinance 032/2024. As I heard some of the conversation here, and I think maybe all of you have received an email from me this morning, I disagree with the percentages that it's the assessment has gone up. It has actually gone up 157%. Now, I know it's not a big amount. I went from $30 to $80. It's kind of like, when is this going to stop? I have to count every penny of mine, and yet I send a response to get, or send an email to get budgets and expenditures. I get nothing. Here's what I get. This was back in May. I received an email from Donna, I think it's Healy. Is that how you spell it?
Yep.
Okay. And it basically gave me that the income was $700K. Our budget for 2024 was $850K, then $600K, and $600K for the next following years. Well, doing the math, you've already over budgeted by $50,000K, or $50,000. So I don't budget like that. I can't. I don't spend more than I make, and to continue to see increases, I think it's, just unfair. I'm looking at this as like Maumee's private piggy bank that nobody is noticing, and I'm blowing the horn and saying, oh, stop. I'd like to know where some of this money is going. I can't even see driving down the street from White Street on the trail to Michigan. There needs to be lighting there. I don't know where a lot of this lighting is going, but in any event, I thought LED lights too would start to lower costs. When is that going to happen? When is the return on investment going to take place? Calling emergencies, I just find that as really poor planning. Yes, crises come up, but everything being an emergency, to me is just showing poor planning. So again, you know, I just wanted to state the fact that some of these increases, are going, you know, not going unnoticed. And, you know, I just think it's, you know, I'd like to see budgets and expenditures. I've emailed each and every one of you, and I have yet to see anything. I'm a numbers guy, you know, I like to look at some of these things. You know, where some of this money is going, you know, is it repairs, is it painting, is it, you know, new lights, that type of thing. So, you know, with that, I just, I'm here to say, you know, vote no for the time being, but, you know, I'd like to see where these dollars are going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I second that.
I'm sure we'll be happy to meet with you. Probably the best time would be right after comments before executive session. We can meet with all those that came forward and had questions. All right, we'll move on with the meeting to adopt the agenda. I would like to ask for a change, moving 8A to the consent calendar. That's where it belonged to begin with, actually. I think I got misstated there. So just moving 8A and make it 9F. It originally, or it's listed under petitions and communications. So with that, I'd like a motion to approve the agenda as revised.
I'd make that motion to, move 8A to 9F.
I'll second that, Mayor.
I think we just need to move to approve the agenda as
Okay,
revised.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I move to, approve the agenda submitted
okay,
with the move.
second,
I'll second.
thank you. We'll call the roll on the agenda.
Pufferberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes. And approval of the meeting minutes, from August 19th, 2024.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I move to approve the regular meeting minutes of August 19th, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We'll call the roll on the meeting minutes.
Pufferberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes. Nothing under petitions and communications. We'll move to the consent calendar. We'll take a motion and a second, and then we'll go through these.
Oh, yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve all consent calendar items.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I will second that motion.
Okay, we'll go through these. A recommendation from the law director, authorizing the clerk to return transfer request, form for liquor permit for the New York Restaurants LLC without requesting a hearing to the Ohio Liquor, Department of Control Board. So this is basically a transfer.
Correct, it's just a standard liquor permit transfer from one entity to another.
Okay, thank you. And a recommendation from the city administrator, Ms. Birch?
The contract for Allied Paving.
Yes.
Basically, we talked a bit, Councilman Lineback talked a little bit about this. We originally took prices on this that were much higher than this. We closed on the parking lot, I believe, this week, as soon as we can this week. We won't be paving a lot we do not own. This is also including some curb revisions in certain areas of that parking lot and some handicap drops that we have to, perform as part of the project.
Thank you. Recommendation from the finance committee to transfer, money from Fund 663 to 449. I understand one fund is kind of, not being used anymore, so you're transferring it to another, right?
The transfer originally took place in 2012 as an advance, which implies it's temporary, and it's been there ever since, so just to clean up the records.
Okay, and then D is also a recommendation from the finance committee to transfer some money for some funds for, I think, basically the same reason, right?
This was part of some development agreements, they were received into the general fund, and they should have been in Fund 771 or 775.
Okay, thank you. Recommendation from the finance committee to allow a then and now purchase to safe build in the amount of $6,832, right?
This is a service that was received that we didn't have a purchase order for.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments on the consent calendar from council?
Other item.
Oh, that's right, my bad. 8A is now 8F, so it's, approval of the facade grant for Crave Cookies in the amount of $37,780, 50% $4,400 minus or 30% of $16,620. Any comment on that?
It's a project where they're operating a cookie bakery, downtown, it's the Villa storefront. The storefront is where the place where they design and sold Amish furniture
Oh.
next to Sunshine Studio.
Okay. Any questions on that from council? All right, we'll call the roll on the consent calendar.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes. New business under 11A is a recommendation from the finance director approving ordinance 32-2024, an ordinance levying special assessment for the property owners share the cost of street lighting and in the public ways in the city of Maumee and declaring an emergency. We need two motions on this.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. First, I'd like to move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I will, second that motion.
Thank you. And the emergency is this not due next week?
Yes, we have to have it into Lucas County Auditor by the second Monday of September.
Thank you. We'll call the roll on the emergency.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
And I will also move to approve ordinance 032-2024.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I will second that motion as well.
We'll call the roll.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Recommendation from the finance director approving ordinance 33-2024, an ordinance levying assessments for cutting noxious weeds and declaring an emergency. We need two motions on this, please. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I would move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency. I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Kirk. Call the roll.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Then I would move to approve ordinance 033-2024, an ordinance levying assessments for cutting of noxious weeds and declaring an emergency.
Call the roll, please. We need a second on that, Mr. Kirk?
I'm sorry, second.
Yes, thank you. And then we'll call the roll.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Just one comment on this ordinance. Usually is used for properties where people just ignore their property and let it go. And then the city has to come in and clean it up. And then they get levied the cost for that. So that's what this is all about. And then new business under 11C, recommendation from the city administrator authorizing the Maumee City Schools to place a radio transmitter repeater on the top of the water tower on Dussel, and further authorize the city law director to prepare a 25-year lease franchise agreement, waiving or reducing the fee to $1 per year. Council finds that providing a place for a transmitter repeater serves a public purpose, as this is for the city school bus system. Any discussion on that?
I can address it.
Yes.
I was contacted by the assistant superintendent. Their radio transmitter that's on the top of St. Luke's right now has to come down. They've been notified by Mercy because that building will be coming down in the near future. As soon as they get the permits to do so, and they won't have locations. This will be on the Dussel Tower. Originally, we were talking about the downtown tower, but we don't have a rail above there for safety or for hooking up the antenna, so it'll be on the Dussel Tower.
We need a vote on this, right?
What's that?
Okay, yep.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yep.
I think John Fiskus has a conflict, so we need to abstain.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to abstain, Mr. Fiskus, if you wouldn't mind.
I would move to abstain from this vote.
I'll second that.
Second that, we'll call the roll on the abstention.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
And then we need a motion to approve the, actually, it's not ordinance, it's just a support, right? A support letter?
You had to get approval.
Approval.
Simple motion.
A motion to approve this.
Thank you, Mayor. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I move to approve item 11C.
I'll second.
Thank you, we'll call the roll on that.
Poffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Thank you. We do now have old business. We'll move to comments. I'll start. Thank you for those that have participated in the roundtable discussion groups. We've had 11 so far. I believe it's been 200 individuals that have come, and I know when council could make it, they were there. I attended a handful, and I know we had some representation, at least sometimes, from some of our group, which was good. I did appreciate everybody's comments and what their thoughts were. I thought it was important. Out of that came some interest in forming a citizen advisory group in order to move forward with what we're going to be looking at in the future. Educate, kind of talk about where we are and what's the next steps. So we plan on doing that as we move forward here in the next month or two, going into the early fall. We have some staff that are on vacation this week. That citizen group will work, hopefully, my intention is with some representation of staff and a couple representatives from council to sit in on those. So I want that to become a reality as we move forward, and we'll work on that in the next coming month. And I also like to congratulate the Maumee football team on a 2-0 start. Hope they can continue their winning ways. So we'll move to council members. Ms. Buffenberger.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I just wanted to also thank everyone for coming to the roundtables. It was nice to see people coming out and expressing suggestions and asking questions and just participating overall. So I thank everyone that were able to come, and for those that maybe weren't able, being willing to have conversations with us outside of those meetings and give us your input. I look forward to the committee to try to figure out the best next steps for fixing this problem and making sure we communicate, what we're doing moving forward as much as possible. I'd also like to tell everyone about an event that we're having on September 26th at the Maumee Indoor Theater. It's the Environmental Tree Advisory Commission. We're hosting the film Common Ground. It will be, the doors open at 6 o'clock and the movie will start at 6:30. It's a film about regenerative farming. They had a movie they had made prior, Kiss the Ground. That's a really good film. And I've had input from a few community members interested in hosting this film. And I think it has a lot of overlapping topics. At the very least, health of people, health of soils, water absorption, carbon sequestering, and we will have some vendors there. Tree Toledo will have some tree saplings to give away and some information. Lucas County Soil Water District will have some information, and Keep Toledo, Lucas County Beautiful will also have some information there. So I invite everyone to come. The movie is free, and the concession stand will be open for you guys to purchase any of your favorite snacks. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, I'd just also like to say thank you to all the people who participated, sent IDs, and emailed us with the roundtables and other different suggestions and other meetings that were held outside of the roundtables. I met with a variety of people, as did a lot of council people. A lot of good ideas came out of it, new ideas that weren't looked at or thought through, so that's all part of the process we're going to do with this new advisory committee. And also, again, kudos to the Sunshine Group. Gosh, if you have a chance to go on their website, I hope that evening or that presentation that we went to is on the website, because we've always kind of taken things for granted to really look at it closely to see how something so small got to be so big, and it's really heart-jerking what they've done and how they've done such a great job and made an impact in people's lives that wouldn't otherwise have any type of choice except try to deal with that particular problem in their own home, which is nearly impossible at some point. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fiskus.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I skipped over last meeting. I wanted to thank Colleen Tankus from the Chamber for her 7 years of service. She's been a great asset to not only the Chamber but the city. Anyone who's involved with the Chamber can tell you what a great person she was. I skipped over last meeting, so I want to make sure I got that. They already talked about the Sunshine event. I'm looking forward to that this weekend. Should be a great time. A week from Saturday, September 14th, 9 AM, we're going to have a cleanup down on the towpath, trash, invasive species, whatever we come across. We haven't done it in a while, so people are itching to do it, hopefully not literally from poison ivy, but we're gonna do another one, and looking forward to seeing lots of people down there. I also wanted to thank all the residents who attended our sewer roundtables over the past few weeks. Some of you have attended more than one, so it's been great to see that kind of civic involvement in our city matters. We have a long way to go, but I truly do feel that we're on the right road to get to a palatable and workable solution for everyone. Make no mistakes, there's still hard work and hard decisions that will have to be made, but I believe with the formation of the citizen sewer group and a lot of hard work, we will eventually get there. There's no denying that there have been missteps along the way. Anyone who says otherwise is not being honest with you, and I apologize for my part in any stress that this has caused anyone, but unfortunately I cannot go back and change the past, whether it's a few months or decades ago. I'm dedicated to finding a way through this so that Maumee can come out stronger than it ever has been. One of the recurring themes in the roundtables was a lack of or poor communication. As someone who campaigned on communication, I feel we've come a long way in the last few years, yet there's certainly room for improvement. To be clear, I do not place any of that blame on our public information officer. In part, because of the progress that has been made, I'm calling for the immediate reinstatement of the Council Public Information Committee. We have made much progress throughout these roundtables, and I want to ensure that the positive momentum from these meetings continues. It's imperative that we develop a communication plan and continue to move forward and foster effective avenues of communication and dialogue between the city and the residents of Maumee. With that being said, I would like to make a motion to reinstate the Public Information Committee.
And I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Any further comment? I believe we have, part of our, committee is part of a, I don't know if it's an ordinance or something, we'll have to revise that and put it together as a.
That will be on next meeting then, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we call for a vote?
We can call for a vote, or we can put it together with the other committees that we have and pass it as a whole. With the people that are on the committee, or.
Understand.
What's your pleasure?
Yeah, as long as it's next meeting, I'm happy.
Okay.
Alan, did you say something?
Any other comments?
It'll just have to be an ordinance, so it'll have to be the next meeting.
We have to draft in an ordinance form? Okay, which would involve the existing committees, and then that's the ordinance that I'm referring to.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to the citizens who participated in the recent roundtable discussions. These sessions have been invaluable in fostering meaningful conversations about the critical issues our community faces regarding the sanitary sewer. I've really had some lengthy discussions, as Julie Korlewski, who's here, can attest that on, I think, a random Tuesday, we've had an hour and a half long discussion. So we've spoken at length numerous of times, and I do appreciate you actually reaching out so that we can have that conversation. Now that the roundtables have wrapped up, I believe the city is in a good place to find viable solutions collectively. I'm truly honored to be part of a community filled with residents who are not only passionate about Maumee, but are also eager to make a positive impact. And I look forward to working with all of you to address the challenges further. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kurt?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I echo Councilman Fiskus's comments about communication. I also campaigned on transparency, and I think we're doing okay there, but if anybody out here or other residents feel there's an appearance of a lack of transparency, I think the committee, the Public Information Committee, would go far to dispel any concerns people have in that regard. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lembach?
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I just wanted to go back, have a little bit more information. I know there's been a lot of concern about emergency votes that we take. I think there are some instances where better planning would avoid that, absolutely. But tonight, for instance, on the 033, it wasn't mentioned that this, the assessment for noxious weeds. The finance director informed me that we wait until the last minute to capture all the costs that the city incurs so that this ordinance, can cover all the costs that we incur. So there are definitely some instances where an emergency measure makes total amount of sense, and I think that was the case tonight. Question for John Fiskus, where are we gonna meet at the towpath on?
White Street parking lot.
Oh, right at the
Yep,
parking lot?
Yep, we'll spread out from there.
Okay, very good. And like all the other council members, I've met some amazing people during the last month or so. It's been great. It's not necessarily great that we've struggled the way we have, but through struggle comes, I think, some success. So pleasure to meet all the people who are now in my cell phone. Thank you.
Mr. Noonan?
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I guess everybody's kind of said what I was gonna say, but that's okay. I'll echo everybody's statements about the citizen participation in the roundtables. It's very encouraging to see a lot of people, you could throw once, even more so than that, to the roundtables to contribute to the discussion and possible solutions. I agree with Councilmember Harris. I think collectively we can get together and come up with viable solutions to the issue going forward, along with any other things that come up, right? So, looking forward to the Citizen Advisory Board. That's gonna be, I think, a good experience from that after these roundtables. So just wanted to thank the administration with, doing the roundtables, and thanking the various council members that attended those roundtables. I guess to end this on a positive note, Mayor McDonald already touched upon it. Congratulations to the Maumee football team for going 2-0, and I believe the home opener is this Friday, right? Yeah, I'm gonna be there. So just like the last home opener, it was awesome to see that. So I'm super excited about that. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Burke, anything?
Nothing.
Thank you. We will entertain a motion to executive session. I would like to take just a brief 5 minutes for anybody that would like to answer the questions that were asked from our citizen group. So I'll entertain a motion in a second, and then we'll meet upstairs in about 5.
Move we go into executive session.
I will second that motion.
Call the roll.
Purpose is Gabe.
Oh, purpose, pending litigation, and personnel.
Personnel, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll second that motion.
thank you. Call the roll.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes. Thank you.
Can't
Second?
Okay,
okay, wait, no.
take a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Wait a second, why is my camera not coming? I'm sorry, wait,
Yes.
okay.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
And we'll take a motion to adjourn until the next meeting, September 16th at 6:15.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Call the roll.
Puffenberger,
Yes.
Barrow,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.